Well, good morning out there to all you styrene users or abusers or whatever it is, wherever you are. This is George coming to you from the basement annex at Kitchen Table Scale Models with a little vintage unboxing. Was watching or listening to the Scale Model Car podcast last night with Lucas C. and Chucky and BG and Jason Hanscom from Blue Ox, and special guest Mark Batson. And Jason was going through a list of upcoming releases and commented on a February release from MPC. Excuse me, I'm still blowing out the morning cobwebs. He mentioned an upcoming release from MPC, a 7-in-1 1960 Corvette kit. And I thought, you know what? I have one of those. And what I have is the original issue. I don't know when it was that model companies stopped putting the retail price as part of their printing on the package. This one, as you can see, was kit number 306, and that means it retailed for $2. Before I open this kit, Scalemates is a little unprecise. They peg it at somewhere, they said 1960X. And they put it after the 57 Corvette kit, which I think shares some of the same parts. I actually had that original 57 Corvette kit at one point and stupidly sold it at a swap meet. I wish I still had it. It was a beautiful kit, and it was very similar to this in the number of building versions. But in any case, I digest. This kit presumably came out sometime in the 60s, but what kind of confuses me about it is when I opened it up, and I'll show you this, there's an address for MPC printed on a coupon that does not contain a zip code. I'm old enough to remember when zip codes came into place, and I did a little search on it, and zip codes began to be introduced in 1963. So it's possible this kit was as early as 1963 or earlier. I haven't had it that long. There's a period of my life where I got rid of all my models and quickly regretted it and started buying them again. I think I got this sometime in the early 70s. And I kind of remember when I bought it. Back then, if you're old enough to remember, like I am, a lot of drugstores and shops sold models, and there was a local drugstore chain that was getting out of the model business, and they were selling everything out, and I snagged this. I say I bought this probably sometime in the early 70s, 1970, but let's open it up. Before I open it up, let's do the box, okay? Yeah, that's it, box. Okay, again, there's the end panel. You saw that with one of the building versions, an all-out drag version. There are 3 engine options, as you can see. Blown 283, 283 4-barrel, or 2 4-barrel 283. Kit has working suspension with metal springs, which is kind of cool. I remember MPC was making Corvette models well into the mid-60s. I know they made a C3 Corvette, or I guess a C2 Corvette, like a 65, that had that working suspension and steering. Great box art on the top. If you've seen any of the early release photos in the new kit, it uses pretty much the same box art. And it says billet, stock, custom, road, or rally. But before I get into the kit, let's look at the instructions, because to me, I think the instructions really tell the story of this kit. And I'm going to put my glasses on so I can see what I'm seeing. Bear with me here. Yeah, there we go. That's better. Now I can see. The instructions, and this is where the 7-1 comes in. You can build one of 7 versions: stock, Bonneville, modified sport, wild custom, rally car, road racing, or stock drags. Again, it kind of repeats the box art. Little general stuff on building. Shows the different wheel options. Getting into the engine options again. These old instructions were very instructional, not only on how to get the model together, but and I've said this when I was doing my review of the '63 Corvette, or my unboxing of my Vet box, Vet kit. That you could learn about cars from these things, and I know I did, and I'm sure others of my generation did also. But just what gives you an idea again of the multiple options. You got 3 different wheel options, 2 to 3 different engine options, as you saw in the box. Interior, even got a little driver figure. Looks like it's got a rally board with timers and stuff on it. Chassis is multi-piece chassis with, you can see pieces for the front suspension, the way that goes together. Then it starts getting into final assembly and shows you the way it goes together. Nothing unusual on the body, but it's nicely detailed and nicely molded. I'll show you that in a few minutes. And I like it. Look at the tonneau cover. You got a choice of the tonneau cover, up top convertible, or removable hardtop. And now some more optional equipment. You put a ski rack on there because everybody takes their Corvette out skiing in the winter. I love that little Bonneville windshield. It's really tempting to build a car like that. And here's some more pictures of the versions. You've got the Bonneville car. Tells you what you want to include there. Modified sports car. Shows you what to include there. Wild custom. Rally car. Road racing, stock drags. It's funny because in these 9 versions it doesn't show you one stock car. But yeah, it's interesting. Here's the coupon I was talking about. Look at that. You can send off and get a. Remember this was done kind of during the slot car days, and MPC was big in slot cars. In fact, I had a '67 Charger MPC slot car that was when it came out was one of the biggies. But you can mail off and get a motor or hollow tires, and this is what I'm talking about. There's no zip code. Now I could do a little more research and see if I could find out exactly when zip codes came into place for Mount Clemens, Michigan. But that would give us an idea of at least the latest date possible, or earliest date, or anyway, something like that. So let's look at some of these parts. Really, the decals are really kind of nice. I mean, they actually look like they might be usable. They're a little yellowed, but the film feels like it's in good shape. It doesn't look like it's cracking or dried at all. I've kept my models pretty much as long as I've had them, and this one I've had, oh golly, probably at least 45 years. I try to keep all my models, or I've always kept my models in climate controlled conditions. Chrome on this is, chrome on this kit's a little cruddy. Wouldn't be a problem today. You see the 2 different grill options it gives you. It gives you a stock option, and I guess that's custom. I like the separate chrome windshield frame. Looks like a roll bar. I think it's going to be interesting to see what pieces of this kit MPC keeps. The body is quite nicely molded. Really not much flash. And again, these molds were still pretty new when this thing was popped out. Suspension pieces, rear suspension, shocks. There's little traction bars. Lots of optional parts in this. And excuse me for keep clearing my throat here. There's the removable hardtop. There's a hood with a hole already cut in it for the blower. Here's a nice piece. Might be fun to use for a diorama, a little tow bar. It's half of a fire extinguisher. I'm sure the other half's floating around somewhere. I think those are actually headrests. It was interesting to me. You go through these older kits, and you know, new kits are so well organized. You've got, you know, 2 or 3 parts trees that are loaded with parts. In these older kits, you've got, you know, a dozen parts trees that have 3 or 4 parts each on them. There's a Tonio cover, nice texture on there. Look at the dash. You know, that's pretty tricky molding for back then. You remember, these molds were cut not on a CNC machine, and they weren't done with CAD. These things were done old school with drawings and pantographs and clay and all kinds of stuff. A little bit of flash on some of these pieces. Decent looking carburetors, clean them up a little bit. I like the 2.4 version on this. That's kind of a fun thing. I might actually have to hold this for chassis, multi-piece chassis, as you can see. Separate suspension pieces, and as I mentioned earlier, let's see, here's one of the springs. There's at least one. I think the other one's in the box. These little things go in. I'm trying to do this through the camera. This isn't working. Yeah, it kind of goes in there. You know, yeah, that's it. And you got the A arms going underneath it. Here's a lower control arm. Oh, look, convertible up top. Nice texture on that again. Excuse me for coughing in your ear. 2-piece slicks. These kind of suck. I think if I was going to build this today, I would probably pull some of the pie crust slicks I've got in my parts packs, and a bunch of little parts in here. You know, here's the lower half of the driver. Pieces of the engine. Let's see what pieces of the engine look like. Nicely molded. Yeah, let's kind of focus there, guys. Come on, you can focus on this. I know you can. Yeah, decently molded. Looks like the heads are molded right in part of the block, and then the intake goes on top. So it's a little bit of a different. These headers are kind of fun. They look kind of thin, kind of small tubes for me, but yeah, they're neat. See what I got here. Some kind of side pipes. It's gonna be fun to see what kind of parts they include in the new one. And here's, last but not least, the interior bucket. And so that's pretty much it. Again, I did this as kind of a unboxing of a vintage kit and a sneak preview of what to expect from the upcoming 60 Vet kit. Hope you all enjoy it. I doubt that I'm going to go out and get another 60 Vet kit because I already have one, and I've got one that was done on fresh virgin molds. Why would I want to get one that was done on 50-year-old molds? But who knows? Round 2, I guess round 2 is doing the MPC. They've been doing a pretty decent job of cleaning up their old molds, so I might be tempted to get one anyway, just for no other reason than the newer kits are tend to come with really nice decals for detailing. So so that's it. Y'all have a good day, and you know, if you like this, please give me a thumbs up. If you like it a lot, please sub. If you don't like it, just scroll on by, and we'll see you later.